Hi, today we present to you an American suspense and horror movie named Midsummer. Spoiler ahead, watch out and enjoy. Danny Arter receives a scary message from her sister, Terry, and decides to check on her parents, as it seems they have been fighting lately. No one answers the call, and Danny drops a message for them, telling them to get back to her when they get the message, but unknown to her, Terry has filled the house with carbon monoxide, killing herself and her parents. Danny checks the message again, which scares her even more, and calls her distant boyfriend, Christian, to ask if they are still going out that night. Christian doesn't remember making such a plan with her, but reluctantly agrees to stop by her house. However, Christian tells her that everything is fine, as he thinks the message isn't different from all the messages Terry usually sends to her. While Danny talks to her friend about how she feels she's a burden on Christian, Christian also talks to his friends about how he wants to break up with Danny, but doesn't have the courage to do it. Not long after, Danny calls again and starts to cry on the phone. Elsewhere, the rescue team is seen in Arter's house while Christian heads to Danny's house to comfort her. Later on, Christian and Danny attend a party, and Danny is surprised after discovering that Christian and his friends are planning to go to Sweden. It turns out Pelle invited them to a midsummer celebration at his central commune, Baharga, in rural Hälsingland, Sweden. Josh is working on his thesis relating to the European midsummer tradition, and the rest decides to tag along. In defense, Christian tells her that he isn't planning to go with them, even if they decide to go. On getting back to Christian's house, Danny challenges him for not informing her about the trip.
It's Sweden for
And
a
that was the
month and a
first
half.
you'd ever heard of it.
Okay.
Even though Christian apologizes to her, Danny still thinks that he should have informed her before getting a ticket. Later on, Christian tells his friends that he invited Danny to follow them to Sweden, and asked them to act like they wanted him to invite her. They decide to do as they are asked, when she pays them a visit, and Danny doesn't suspect a thing. While Josh asks Christian to help with his thesis, Pelle shows Danny the pictures of their ceremony, and tells her about the pageantry. He also apologizes to her for her loss, but this makes Danny emotional, causing her to leave for the bathroom and break down in tears. Afterward, the group is seen in the plane, and they drive to Hälsingland upon their arrival in Sweden. After driving for a while, they make their first stop, and Pelle introduces them to his best friend, Ingemar. Ingemar also introduces them to a couple from London, Simon and Connie. Ingemar then gives them mushrooms, and although Danny refuses to take them at first, she later accepts them.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Ooh.
There you go. Thanks, dude.
The mushroom starts to take effect, and the group starts getting high. Danny requests to go for a walk after a while and sees a group of people laughing. She starts to think that they are laughing at her, but Ingemar tells her that they aren't. She continues to walk until she enters a small house. She then hallucinates seeing an image in the mirror, causing her to run into the woods. Danny soon wakes up after having visions about her family members, and Christian tells her that they found her sleeping there 6 hours ago. He also informs her that the cloud got dark for a few hours, and they are already in the next day. The group packs their belongings and continues their journey. While they walk, Pelle tells them that they have tick infestation as a record number of people got tick-borne encephalitis. After walking for a while, they get to the tranquil and majestic Harga, and Danny is amazed at the place, as some of the locals welcome them and help them with their luggage. Pelle also introduces them to Dagny, a lady who shares the same birthday with him. He finally introduces them to Father Odd, who welcomes them, and tells them to feel free to ask him if they need anything. The festival begins, and an elder informs the people that the festival is done every 90 years, and requests the audience take a drink to begin the festival. Shortly after, the kids play a game, and Pelle asks his friends to join them. A lady hits Christian, causing him to join the kids, while Pelle gives Danny a sketch of her as a birthday gift. However, Christian forgets that it's her birthday, and she asks Pelle not to remind him. Ingemar later gives them a tour around the place, and Pelle takes them to their resting place during their stay in Sweden. While checking the place out, Christian pulls Danny aside to apologize and gives her a piece of cake. Later at night, Pelle asks them to get some sleep because tomorrow is the first big ceremony, a testupa, but the group don't understand what it means. The following morning, everyone waits for two elders to join the table before eating. After the meal, the elders perform a ritual before proceeding to a cliff, where they commit suicide by jumping off the cliff onto the rock below. One of the elders survives the jump, and commune members mercy kill him by hitting a mallet on his head. Connie and Simon become uneasy, but an elder of the commune explains to them that it's their custom, as everyone who has reached the end of their Harga life cycle, 72 years old, has to commit suicide, because it is a great joy for them. She explains that they do that to avoid getting old and dying in pain. However, an unborn child will inherit their names.
Instead of getting old and dying in pain and fear and Horga life cycle, and you need to understand.
After the ceremony, Christian informs Josh that he will be writing his thesis on Harga, which makes Josh angry, as it was his idea. Danny decides to leave, but Pelle convinces her to stay and tells her that he also lost his parents to a fire accident, but the community accepted him and became his family. They get into a compromising position, and Pelle asks her if Christian feels like home to her, while the natives burn the bodies of the dead elders. Later that night, Danny hallucinates about everything that has happened while a native, Maja, puts a love rune under Christian's bed, as she is crushing on him. Pelle informs Christian and Josh the following morning that the elders agree with them to write their thesis on Harga, as long as they don't mention names and locations. Soon after, an elder yells at Mark for urinating on a sacred tree attached to the dead, while Connie finds out that Simon left to the station without her, as the vehicle could only accommodate 2 people. Later on, Christian is told that outsiders are invited into the commune for the mating purpose to avoid the incest taboo. Elsewhere, an elder shows Josh the ruby radar, and the elder tells him that he cannot take a photograph of the book.
Photograph? No, absolutely not.
During supper, a female commune member lures Mark away from the group. Later that night, Josh sneaks to take the photograph of the Rubin radar, but he gets distracted by a man putting on Mark's skinned face. The man hits him on the head with a mallet and drags him away. During breakfast the next day, an elder announces that the Rubin radar is missing, but Christian tells the elders that they are also in the dark, despite 2 of their friends going missing on the same day. Danny is asked to join the females for the day's activity, while Christian is told that Siv wants to see him in her house. Danny is coerced into taking a hallucination drink, after being told that it's the traditional drink for a dancing competition. The dancing competition begins. Meanwhile, Siv informs Christian that he has been approved to mate with Maja. Danny wins the dancing competition, she is crowned the May Queen, and Pelle kisses her to congratulate her. Christian starts feeling uneasy because of the drink he consumed, as Danny performs the ritual of being crowned the May Queen. Soon after, Christian is drugged, and he makes love with Maja in a room surrounded by unclad females who sing and mimic Maja's moan. After Danny's ritual, she insists on knowing what's happening in the other room, and she sees Christian making out with Maja. She has a panic attack, and she is taken to the room, and the females mimic her cry in hopes that it will calm her down. Christian runs out of the room after making out with Maja, but spots Josh's leg planted in a flower bed and Simon's body tied in the barn. However, he is paralyzed by an elder. Soon after, the elders explain that, for the last ceremony, they will sacrifice 9 human lives as an offering for strangers lured by Pelle and Ingemar and 4 commune members, and Danny will have the honor to pick a human as the May Queen. Ingemar volunteers himself, and Danny is asked to choose the last human alive, and she chooses Christian over the commune member. He is then stuffed into a disemboweled bear's body, and he is then placed in a triangular house alongside other sacrifices. The commune members to be sacrificed are given drugs, and the house is set on fire. The commune members mimic the screams and agony of those being burned alive. Danny, decorated in flowers, initially cries in guilt, but begins to smile slowly as the movie ends. Well, that is all for this video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe to our channel and make sure to like this video. See you next time.